How are you using your chat today, your AI? How do you use it? I use it a lot of the times to help me with a specific task. So, as an example, if I'm working on an Excel spreadsheet and I've got a formula and I can't figure it out, or it's a really long formula, rather than me trying to work it out manually and go through the steps that I would have to go through to break that apart and test each piece and then put it back together and have these really long Excel formulas, I use AI to say, hey, break this formula down for me. Here's what I'm trying to do. Please update the formula for me, and I'll test it that way. And AI helps me along that process. It doesn't always get it 100% correct the first time, but if I get an error or something, we can work through it. And the process of working through that is much, much faster. Now, that's one way that I use AI. Another way that I use AI is to do research on items where I will say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm going to engage your research mode, and I want you to research and find out as much information around this topic for me. And it'll go out and crunch it, and it takes a long time. Those type of queries don't come back fast, especially if it's something that's really in depth. It takes a long time for those queries to come back and give me the information that I want. Other times, I will just fire up Quinn, who is my version of ChatGPT, and have a conversation about things. If I happen to be driving, as an example, and I'm driving home late at night because maybe I was out visiting one of my kids who lives way up north, and it takes me an hour or more to get home, and I want to have a conversation so I don't get groggy, I will fire up Quinn and have a conversation about abstract things. Sometimes we'll talk about astronomy or Bigfoot or whatever. But I use it that way as well. So that there's my point is, there's a multitude of ways that I am using AI, and I imagine everybody out there who is using AI that they have a multitude of ways of using it as well. Now, there's one kind of smaller way that I do use it, and I guess even the research mode you would kind of say is like this, but not quite. But I do use it as a bit of a search engine at times as well, and especially when I'm doing something with my youngest son and he wants to find out information. So he's a big Pokemon player. He plays Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet and all these games on his Switch. And as he's playing his game, if he runs into something, he wants to search on the internet and find out, how do I do this thing? How do I beat this opponent? What's the best Pokemon to use against that Pokemon? That kind of stuff, and find that out. And typically we would go onto Google and type the question, how do I defeat this Pokemon? Or where do I find this one? That kind of things. And then we would come back and Google brings you back just the typical Google search, right? It brings you back all that information and you go through it and you read this article or watch that video or do all these things. Well, with AI and with Quinn, my 8-year-old is now sophisticated enough with AI, knows that he can just go start my phone, start up Quinn, and say, hi, Quinn, this is Thor. I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet, and I need to figure out where I can find this Pokemon. And he will talk to Quinn in place of a search engine that we used to use before and find that information out that way, having a conversation, never having to type anything into a search engine, never having to read through the links to find out, oh, this is the one that really matters to the question that I have, or need to go out and watch a video on something. Because by talking to Quinn, Quinn does all of that in the background for Thor and provides him with a conversation with the information that he's trying to find. Quinn always comes back and says, oh, that Pokemon, you can go down by the river and find that one in this area over here, and it only happens at night, or look for it mostly when it's raining, and here's a little trick, and here's a little tip. And they have an actual conversation on the information that he would have searched using Google or another internet browser. Now, I tell you that because it relates to an announcement that OpenAI made just recently. And within the next 2 or 3 weeks, OpenAI is supposed to be releasing its own version of a web browser. It's a web browser, it's based on the Chromium platform, which is what Google Chrome builds their internet browser on. And actually, Microsoft today uses Chromium as well for their Microsoft Edge browser. For those of you who are familiar with Microsoft, they used to have Internet Explorer. That one has been retired. Their new one is Edge. but Edge is also based on Chromium, and so is Opera, and that's another popular browser. I think the only one that is not is Firefox, which has its own internet browser core that Mozilla originally designed and still maintains today. So that's really kind of the only outlier. Everybody else is using Chromium. OpenAI is going to use Chromium as well, but they're going to put an AI, a ChatGPT front end and integration on top of that interface engine. And if OpenAI already isn't absolutely amazing as an internet browser the way it is, basically, by doing this, I'm really excited to see what it's going to be able to do. Because right now, today, ChatGPT can search the internet. It gives a very distinct noise when it is searching, and it pulls back that information. It can provide you with links and things. And where I'm really excited to see it is in that voice mode, to see what kind of interaction you can have in the voice mode and still get that internet browser experience at the same time. Because in voice mode, a lot of the times the voice mode will read out URL for you, and then until you are done with your voice mode and you've shut off voice mode and then read the transcript of your voice mode, that's when you can see that URL that it read out. Where I'm wondering if in the actual voice mode and in browser mode, if you're going to be able to click on links and interact with the application that the advanced voice mode is running in. So I'm really curious to see exactly what they're going to do there, because I think it's already an amazing internet search engine, and even my 8-year-old uses it on a regular basis. So what enhancements they're going to have, I think, will be pretty exciting to see. And in the next couple of weeks, we're all going to find out, because they haven't given a specific date. They've just said within the next 2 or 3 weeks, they will be releasing their own internet browser. If I was Google, if I was Edge, Microsoft's Edge, I would be a little scared, I think, right now, because from some of the articles I read, and I didn't find any statistics on it to share with everybody on this vlog, but some of the articles that I've already read about the declining browser use of Google just because of OpenAI and other AIs that are out there. But OpenAI's ChatGPT is the largest one right now, that it has the most usage. The last time I looked at the stat, they had almost 1 billion users for OpenAI and ChatGPT. And all of those folks, just like us, are discovering that you can use it as a web browser as well. And my 8-year-old, he's never going to have the traditional Google browser experience that we had as the internet was formed, right? Because AI is already here. It's already in his life. He's going to grow up with it and just using like he's already using it now. And it's just going to get better. And so in the next couple of weeks, we're going to look for that OpenAI internet browser. When it comes out, of course, I will be using it. I'll give some feedback on it. I'll share the browser with everybody when it comes up, and we'll see exactly what OpenAI is going to do with it. But I'm really excited to see what it is and what it can do. All right. I meant for this to be a really quick kind of vlog this evening. I just had this one topic and I wanted to make sure I got it out there. I've heard it a few times now on TikTok and YouTube and some of the blog sites that I follow and actually read, and some of the news articles that I routinely get. So I've seen it in all of those, and I'm really excited to. Gosh, I might have said that 10 times already. All right, well. We will see when it comes out, and then we'll share everybody. And I would love to hear about your experiences with it as well when it comes out. So as soon as it comes out, we'll have I'll set up a vlog. We'll have a chat around it, and folks can share their experiences also with the new OpenAI web browser. And that's going to do it for this vlog. This one right here is 195 in the daily series, and I'm not sure what the topic is going to be yet, but I will see you tomorrow.